가지즈 킹덤 오어케스트라.
The concept of God's Kingdom Orchestra illustrates how different Christians, like various instruments in an orchestra, create the beautiful music of God's kingdom. Each denomination, despite differing beliefs, fulfills its unique role, much like different sections in an orchestra. As Paul mentioned, even those who seem unnecessary in the church are actually crucial to the community. Today, we will explore 1 Corinthians 12-14, focusing specifically on parts of the famous love chapter, 1 Corinthians 13. 1 Corinthians 13, 9, 13.
For we know in part and we prophesy in part, but when completeness comes, what is in part disappears. When I was a child, I talked like a child. I thought like a child. I reasoned like a child. When I became a man, I put the ways of childhood behind me. For now we see only a reflection as in a mirror. Then we shall see face to face. Now I know in part. Then I shall know fully, even as I am fully known. And now these three remain: faith, hope, and love. But the greatest of these is love.
People are different. People are inherently different. You might have heard about blood types and their associated traits, even though it's often considered pseudoscience. Here's an example to illustrate. When 4 people are eating together, their reactions differ based on their blood type. It is a myth, though, but it still reveals a truth. One suddenly leaves. Blood type AB, unpredictable. Another follows out of curiosity. Blood type O, curious. One hesitates but then follows. Blood type A, cautious. The last person continues eating alone. Blood type B, indifferent to others. Although it is a modern myth, this shows that people are inherently different. Differences can be seen even within families. Accepting differences. Given these differences, we have 2 options. Consider those different from us as abnormal, or try to understand and adjust to them. Misunderstanding psychology can lead to viewing everyone different from us as having mental issues. This often results in judgment rather than understanding. What does the Bible say? 1 Corinthians 12-14 addresses our differences in faith and gifts, emphasizing that they are meant to benefit each other. Chapter 12 says, "Despite believing in one God, our gifts and abilities are diverse to help each other." This chapter concludes that the greatest gift is love. Chapter 13, verses 1-8 says, "The greatest gift is love, without which all other gifts are useless." Chapter 13, verses 9-13 says, "We currently understand each other imperfectly, leading to conflicts. When God's kingdom fully comes, we will understand each other completely." Until then, faith, hope, and love remain, with love being the greatest. What do faith, hope, and love mean based on the Bible? Faith, belief that God has already worked so we can love each other. Hope, expectation of a future where we will fully understand and love each other. Love, the present act of loving God and each other, building God's kingdom here. Then, chapter 14 says, we should seek gifts to love others and build the church. To sum up, the world often views those different from us as having problems, leading to bullying and ostracism. However, the Bible sees our differences as God's way of helping us love better. We should strive to love and understand each other more. God's Kingdom Orchestra. Think of an orchestra with different instruments, each with unique sounds, pitches, and roles. There are 3 ways of harmonizing. First, follow the score, the Bible. The Bible is like the sheet music for an orchestra. It provides instructions and guidance on how to live a life that aligns with God's will. By following the teachings of the Bible, Christians can ensure their actions contribute positively to harmonizing within God's kingdom. Second, follow the conductor, the Holy Spirit.
The Holy Spirit acts as the conductor for Christians, guiding them in understanding and applying the Bible's teachings. Just as a conductor ensures musicians play together harmoniously, the Holy Spirit helps believers stay in sync with God's will and love one another.
Third, spiritual practices as tuning. Musicians tune their instruments to harmonize before rehearsal and before performance, and during intermission in long performances to maintain harmony. This repeated tuning keeps the orchestra's sound consistent and unified. Just as musicians tune their instruments before a performance, Christians need regular spiritual practices like prayer, Bible reading, and fellowship to stay aligned with God's purposes. This tuning helps foster unity and harmony within the Christian community. Conclusion: we are different. Until we reach heaven, we won't fully understand each other. But with a heart to understand and love, we can make significant progress. We may not fully love and understand yet, but we already have the capacity to do so. Like a choir that practices daily to harmonize, an orchestra tunes their instruments for a harmonious sound. Similarly, we need constant tuning with the Holy Spirit and love. The Bible and prayer are our standards, guiding us to speak and act in love. With the Holy Spirit's guidance and love, we create harmony like a well-tuned orchestra. Without these, we have discord. This is how we understand unity in diversity within God's Kingdom Orchestra. Thank you for listening. Let's strive to be part of God's Kingdom Orchestra, harmonizing our differences with love and understanding.